Welcome to the Athena Wellness Podcast, the show that invites you to take a seat around the community fire and listen to stories that inspire. I'm your host, Kathy Robinson, author, coach, and founder of Athena Wellness, a company that's dedicated to supporting you on your journey to live more wholeheartedly. Hello, and welcome to episode 122. Thanks so much for joining me for this shortened Wellness Wednesday episode, a little midweek boost to help keep your warrior vibe high. Today I'm joined once again by Coach Lauren Bell, who provides an overview of EFT, the Emotional Freedom Technique. Lauren then leads us through a tapping exercise. I did the exercise in real time, and I have to say, I felt remarkably calm and light afterwards. Lauren provided a diagram of the tapping points that you can download, along with an EFT website that you can use for reference, and I'll link those up in the show notes, along with Lauren's website. And now on to the show. I hope you find this exercise of value and the conversation enjoyable. Well, once again, I'm joined by registered nurse, holistic therapist, and coach, Lauren Bell. Welcome back, Lauren.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
So for this short time that we have together, I'd love to focus on caring for the caregivers. As we know, there have been so many who have been on the front lines these last couple of years for us, those caring for kids and elders and coworkers. And recently I had a listener write to me saying that she was caring for an ill elderly spouse. So I was hoping that you can help us or help those who are not seeing an end in sight just yet. What practices might be helpful for these folks?
So I would recommend using tapping or EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, which allows you to accept exactly where you're at the moment and actually reduce the stress that you're feeling in your body, in your mind, and allow you to see things in a different way. It just takes off the heaviness and allows you to feel lighter. It allows you to move into relaxation, because when we're stressed, we're always on. We're just tight. Life's hard. And so using something like tapping can really help to address that.
I think, and I may have this wrong, is it tapping into, is it the meridians? Like, is it almost like where the acupuncture points are? How does that work?
It's acupressure points, so on your body, and I've read lots and lots of different things around it. Some people say it's actually tapping over the meridians, but we just tap on 8 places on the body, and just the technique of tapping very gently on those spots, which is the top of the head, between the eyes, sort of on the brow bone, the side of the eye on the bone, under the eye on the bone again, under the nose, and under the chin, so on that little cleft on the chin, on the collarbone, and then under the arms. And then we start again, so we go back up to the top. So that round, those tapping points, actually, when we're saying and speaking what's really going on for us or how we're feeling, then that it activates the relaxation response. So when we're stressed, we're using the sympathetic nervous system. So it's all the adrenaline and the cortisol and the fight and flight, basically, where, we're really activated, we're really intense, we're breathing shallow, all of those things. And when we tap and speak what's going on for us, it actually allows us to move into that relaxation response, or the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's where the healing and the digesting sort of comes in. So it's moving out of stress response and into this relaxation response. And it just helps us to change the way we look at things.
So I've never really done this before. Can you give us a little example?
Yeah, well, we talked about, obviously we're looking at the carers, and I've spoken at several conferences actually for nurses about using tapping as a stress reduction technique. And It is a script that I use that is around feeling exhausted, doing too much, and not looking after yourself, because that seems to be a problem for a lot of people who are so outwardly focused, who care for everyone else. And sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice in the matter. But the truth is, if we don't look after ourselves, then we won't have anything left to be able to give that other person. Or the way that we're giving the care is not very nice and kind. You know, we're burned out and we've got nothing left. And so, you know, it's not nice to be on the receiving end of that. And it's also not nice to be the one giving it, because you know that it's not really what you want to do or how you want to operate. So the tapping that I've got to go through talks about moving into how exhausted you really feel and the burnout. So I should just warn, we are stating what's really going on, and it might feel a bit over the top because this is a generalized tapping script, but it's based on all the wording that I've heard my nurses and other carers speak about what's going on for them. So it sounds harsh, and people worry a little bit, I think, oh gosh, if I'm saying this, I hope I'm not attracting more of this into my life. But when we use the tapping at the same time and we're invoking this relaxation response, actually speaking the truth allows the shifts to occur. If we just put in, rainbows and unicorns, it would be like glossing over the top of it, and it wouldn't really have any effect.
And so the idea is you're tapping on certain spots while you're saying these words?
Yes. So I will tap and speak out loud, and then you basically are mirroring exactly what I'm doing and speaking out loud. And for the listeners, I'll try to remind you which point we're up to. And perhaps we can put in the show notes like a picture of the tapping points.
Sure, yeah, that'll be fine. And I think as you're going through it, I'll keep silent, because this way the listeners, they won't hear my voice in response. They can respond to you. Okay?
Yeah, sure. And so, yeah, and exactly that. So, and is really to speak the words out loud. And if the word's not quite right, you can just change it, tweak it to be, a bit more in line with you. So that's possible too.
Okay.
All right. So the idea is, first of all, just perhaps to set it up, is visualize yourself in your caring role. So no matter who it is you're caring, but it's your next time that you're going to be there. Or maybe it's when things get the most hectic. There's so much to do. You probably still need to go to the bathroom. You might not have even eaten yet. And the manager or the supervisor or some person in your life comes up and wants you to do another thing. And it just feels too much. And what I want you to do with that is just rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 being, oh my God, I cannot do another thing. And 0 is, oh yeah, sure, no worries. I'm actually perfectly fine and feeling energized and, life's good. So just rate on that scale. And that's what they call a subjective units of distress scale, a SUD scale. So it's subjective. It means that your number is your own. So just whatever pops into your mind is your answer. There's no right or wrong here. And then just very gently tapping on all the points as I say them, I'm going to get you to tap on the side of the head and side of the hand. So we're going on to what we call they used to call it the karate chop point, but really it's just the side of the hand. And we're just going to say this statement. Even though I'm exhausted and I'm not looking after myself, I choose to accept how I feel. Even though I'm so tired, I can't stop. I've got to keep going. I love and accept myself anyway. Or if that feels too hard to say, I'm opening up to the idea of loving and accepting myself. Even though I'm so tired, so depleted, I have nothing left to give. I accept myself and how I feel. And now we're going to start tapping through the points. So on the top of the head, I give and I give and I give. On the eyebrow point, but who gives to me? Side of the eye. Who looks out for me? Under the eye. I'm empty inside. Under the nose. I'm so exhausted. On the chin. I have lost my passion. Collarbone. I can't take another thing. Under the arms. It's all too much. Top of the head. It's all too hard. Eyebrow. I'm disconnected. Side of the eye. I have no energy. Under the eye. No energy for me. Under the nose. I'm ignoring what my body is telling me. Under the chin. I soldier on. On the collarbone. It's all up to me. Under the armpits. I feel guilty if I take time for me. It feels selfish. Top of the head. I'm just surviving day to day. Eyebrow. Overwhelmed and exhausted. Side of the eye. I'm doing everything and nothing well. Under the eye. I'm trying my best. Under the nose. But I can't do it all. On the chin. I'm trying to please everybody. On the collarbone. And there's nothing left for me. Under the arms. I was taught to put others first. Top of the head. I put on a brave face every day. Eyebrows. I pretend I'm okay. Side of the eye. I push it down. It's all a mask. Under the eye. It's not safe to feel. Under the nose. It feels scary to feel this. On the chin. So I push it down. Collarbone. I have nothing left for me. Under the arms. Nothing left for me. Okay, just take a deep breath. Now, we are going to do another round that's a lot more positive in a minute, but what I want you to do here, if you've got a drink of water, it's actually a really good time to have a drink. And I want you to close your eyes again and just rate that SUD scale again. So notice where you were before and just check in now and see where you are. Now, usually it will have come down a little bit, but sometimes it might have come up a bit higher, and that's because we're actually putting our attention on something that is operating in your life, but you haven't been giving it that awareness. So that's okay. We're just going to keep tapping, okay? And if you found that and you've got this recording, go back and repeat that section again before moving into the positive round. So what about for you, Kathy? Do you have a difference in your numbers?
I do. It went down a few points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good. There was definitely some release there.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing is, just as we're tapping and saying the words, if any memories or if any other thoughts pop into your mind, just to sort of notice those as well. But stay with the tapping. So we'll move into the positive round now. So this time we're just going to go straight into the point. So top of the head. I do an amazing job. Brow point. I am a giver. Side of the eye. I am a carer. Under the eye. I am proud to be a caring person. Under the nose. With a big open heart. On the chin. Generous. Collarbone. I enjoy giving. Under the arms. It's what I know. Top of the head. I wear it like a badge of honour. Eyebrow. I am great at giving. Side of the eye. But I can't receive. Under the eye. I look after everyone else. Under the nose. But no one looks after me. Chin. And then I feel resentful. Collarbone. And that doesn't feel good either. Under the arms. But it's not up to them. Top of the head. It's up to me. Brow. The person I need to look after is me. Side of the eye. I need to look after me. Under the eye. I need some time for me. Under the nose. I can't give from an empty cup. On the chin. I can't give when there's nothing left. Collarbone. When I'm exhausted. Under the arms. I need to take responsibility for myself. Top of the head. Not to blame others. Brow. I have a choice. Side of the eye. I am not a victim here. Is it self-care or self-neglect? Under the nose. It's my choice. Chin. I do deserve. Collarbone. To fill my cup and give from the overflow. Under the arm. I am taking responsibility. Top of the head. I choose to feel good. Brow. I choose to feel great. Side of the eye. It's better for me. Under the eye. It's better for everybody. Under the nose. I choose to take great care of myself. Chin. I am giving myself permission to take care of myself. Collarbone. It's time to tune into my body and ask what it needs. Under the arm. I choose to give that to myself. Top of the head. It's non-negotiable. Eyebrow. I choose me. Side of the eye. Me first so that I can burn bright but not burn out. Under the eye. It starts with me. Under the nose. I do it for me, but I am not alone. On the chin. I choose me. Collarbone. I deserve this for me. And under the arm. And I choose to give this for myself. Okay, take a deep breath again. and have some water. And that's where you can, once again, just rate it on that SUD scale and tune in and see, how do you feel? What's the level now?
I'm ready for a nap. I feel amazing. I feel really good.
It kicks in the relaxation response. So it is actually often, you will really feel really tired. And if you can give yourself a break now after doing that tapping, good. Really listen to your body, honor yourself. And even if it's just a quick power nap or something, or you want to go and sit in the sun and breathe in the fresh air, or in the patio if it's the sun porch, or whatever if it's icy outside. So whatever is suitable for you.
That's wonderful. And how often would you suggest somebody do a practice like this? Is it a daily practice?
Yeah, you can use tapping for a daily. I mean, you can use it in the moment. You can use it to reflect on something that happened during the day. The more we do it, the more we release the stress in our body, the more calm, relaxed, joyful, peaceful we can be, and we can start to open up to that acceptance and, seeing things for what they are, and then seeing other opportunities. So it really can be a daily practice. This particular script, if this really helped, and you need to go back, rewind, do it again. Maybe if it's if that's your life at the moment, you might need to do it a few times. So you can use tapping for anything, because basically it's emotional freedom technique. It means that it's for anything that has an emotion. Now you think about life, anything that we're doing, we have an emotional aspect around it. So say a person's going to the hospital for surgery, there's, will the surgery be successful? What are they going to find? How well will I recover? What about work? When will I be able to go back to work? How will my family cope? Will it impact my money? I mean, they're just some examples. How much pain will I have? Will I be okay? There's so many emotional factors just involved in that particular instance. But anything that we do has emotional factors involved. So anytime we're emotional about it, we can tap on it.
I think it's a wonderful tool to have in the toolkit when you don't know what to do and you feel like you're at your end, to be able to name it, to release it, and then to reprogram it a bit. And having that scale, you can really feel the difference. So thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's going to be very helpful for a lot of folks who are listening. So I really appreciate your time, appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I will say that for people who are busy, I do often tap in the car. I use one hand, obviously, and you obviously need to assess if it's suitable for you to do it. But when you're listening, I find that I can, do it and tap along, and it's good. And then also another time that's great is if you're out walking. And so you just put your headphones on. That's when I often listen to podcasts and things anyway. Well, I just walk along and tap. So if you really don't want to tap through all of those points because you're in a public area, you could just tap on your collarbone. That would help, or one of the points as well. So there is a few ways we can sort of get around it if you are in public, to actually be able to do that. I think it is better to do the whole thing, but, you do what works for you, and you use it in times where you feel like you don't have time. Well, then use it when you're walking or when you're driving, etc.
I love it. Stealth tapping. I like that. I'm going to employ that. Very good. Well, thanks again, Lauren. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there are many ways you can spend your time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. Until our paths cross again, be kind to yourself and show your warrior spirit some love. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please pass it on. And many thanks for supporting the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It means a lot, and it helps others find their way to our circle. If you'd like to access the show notes, have a question you'd like addressed on a future episode, or would like a transcript of this episode, visit www.athenawellness.com/podcast. Until next time, be well.